Hello beautiful people, I'm DJ and welcome back to my channel Indian Cooks and Books. Today I will be wrapping up my reading for the month of December 2022. I know it's late, I'm sorry, but it is what it is. I started the month with a romance book called Love, Hate and Clickbait by Liz Bowery. So this is a story between two men. One of them is called Tom and the other one is called Clay. Tom is a political consultant, very ambitious, works for a governor. He is a very ambitious person who can do anything for his job. He's cutthroat like that. And Clay is a tech genius, also a business analyst, and who also works for the campaign of this woman who is a vile, villainous kind of woman who will do anything to gain popularity. So these two men, Tom and Clay, kind of hate each other for some superficial reasons. I don't know, like just because the other person is annoying or something like that. And Tom kind of is a supervisor and he's kind of shouting at Clay at one point, and they are always arguing, but he gets really angry and he pushes Clay against the wall and he's pointing at him and shouting and yelling at him. But from an angle it looks like they're kissing, and their photo is taken like that in that position, and it gets like becomes viral on the internet. So this selfish woman governor wants them to pretend to be dating. Tom has only dated women and he is actually attracted to Clay though, but he doesn't know that yet. They kind of pretend, fake date, and through forced proximity they kind of fall in lust first. It gets steamy. The book gets steamy in the middle. Their sexual tension gets kind of converted from their hatred to tension, and the steamy scenes are kind of fun. Then they fall in love, yada yada. It's not that different after that. It's fun, yeah. It was an alright read. I can't compare romance with other books that I read, generally sad literary fiction. You can't apply logic or that much sense to some of the things in romance novels, so I can't rate them just like I rate the other books. So I'm going to rate this pretty high, like 3.5 to 4 stars. The next book was also a romance book. The second book I read was Taylor Jenkins Reid's One True Loves. So this was my second read from this author after Evelyn Hugo, and it was also alright. It is a story of a woman who was married, but her husband got into a helicopter accident and was declared dead after being lost at the sea or something. And she's grieving. She moves back to her hometown, rekindles romance with an old friend, and they are happy together, engaged, and then suddenly news comes that the husband has survived. Nobody was surprised though. I mean, like, she was, but not me. And then she has to choose between the two, and it's like dramatic. Kind of stupid how the husband survived on a deserted island. But again, romance novels, you can't apply a lot of logic to some of the things in it. I enjoyed it as a quick read. It was not too bad. I gave it a 3.5 stars. The third book that I read was The Decagon House Murders by Yukito Ayatsuji. It is a murder mystery. Some students, university students, take a trip to an isolated island, which was a site of grisly murders a few years ago. They are from a university hobby club, or kind of a club where they read a lot of mystery crime novels, and they go there from a morbid curiosity, or just want to explore the place where so many people died and the culprit was never found. Maybe they thought they will solve the mystery, but then they started getting killed one by one. in the Decagon house, which is on the island. And on the mainland, there are a couple of people who get letters from a supposed murderer, and it says that they will avenge the murder of their daughter. But the problem is, the murderer who has written the letters, supposedly written the letters, was supposed to be dead already, and that complicates things. And these people who are not even police or detective, they are just random smart people who are also into solving crime, like Sherlock-esque people, one of them at least. They kind of start going through the case and talking to people related to the case to solve the mystery. It's fun. I liked it. It's a standard Japanese crime fiction novel, and I liked it. 3.5 out of 4. 3.5 out of 5 stars. Then the fourth novel that I read was Razor Blade Tears by S.A. Crosby. So this book was talked about on BookTube for a long time, and it was so hyped. I had picked it up in the past once before, but I couldn't get into it, so I put it down. I DNF'd it. But then again, I kept hearing people talk about it. They loved the book. A lot of people did. So I thought, I'll check it out. So it is a story about two fathers who have lost their sons. Their sons were married to each other. These two fathers are from the southern United States, where they are maybe too religious to accept LGBTQ people, or they're just ignorant, or so. Yeah, one of them is a white guy and the other one is black. So there is racial tension between them. One of them is not only homophobic but also a racist. But after their sons are killed in a very gruesome way, they are forced to team up and find out who did that to their sons, and they are also forced to reconcile with their sons' sexualities. And it's tough for them, but eventually they set their issues aside and they try to pursue the criminals who killed their sons, because the police is apparently useless, and these two have to take the law in their hands. And these are criminals, and these two have been in the jail before, and they have been in the gangs, and they have the violence in them, and this has motivated them to be more violent. So there are a lot of fighting scenes, a lot of action, a lot of guns, and a lot of kind of sad, but lots of ups and downs in this revenge story. I was okay with it. I'm okay. Like, I didn't like it a lot. It was again a 3 stars type of a book. I was fine with it, but I didn't love it. The next one that I read was called Trust by Hernan Diaz. Again, a overhyped book. Everybody and their mom is talking about Trust on BookTube nowadays. Last year, and New York Times, they mentioned it in their 10 best books of the year 2022. So I thought I might as well give it a go. And boy, did I get played. This book was so redundant, so dull. The first part is a biography of a billionaire investor who is like a genius in stock market, something like that. It portrays him in a kind of a negative light, and therefore in the second part is an autobiography written by the same investor billionaire. It's very repetitive, redundant, dull. Some dull details are changed in the autobiography that I don't really care about. Like, why? I don't care. Then the third part is about the ghost writer, or like a woman who writes this autobiography, supposedly autobiography, but the rich man is like, I'll give you money, you write it for me. It's like, yeah, it's infuriating sometimes. And This woman's POV is interesting, but it doesn't save the book overall. It's quite dull and so drawn out, and it's too long, and it's just boring. I gave it like 2 stars. You can skip it. The last book that I read was the most interesting and thought provoking book that I read last month, and that was called Acts of Service by Lillian Fishman. So, now, disclaimer, this book is sexual as anything. It's about this woman called Eve who has a girlfriend but gets involved with this couple, Olivia and Nathan. One day she just has an existential crisis and posts her nudes online, and through the comments on the nude she meets this woman Olivia, and then Nathan through Olivia, and then they start a weird relationship, these three, weird sexual relationship. So they are kind of jealous of each other, but at the same time they enjoy that the other person is with the other person. I was kind of foreign to this concept, but it is kind of thought provoking. Eve is pondering a lot of things. She's kind of afraid of wasting her life just being one person or one thing her whole life. So that's why she's kind of exploring different facets of her identity and sexuality. She's a queer woman. She is attracted to men and women. She wants to explore her sexuality, and she also wants to explore maybe what is love, like polyamory, then what is the power balance that she likes in her romantic or sexual relationships. And Nathan is somebody who is dominant and a presence that she wants in her life. Although she prefers women sometimes to men, she is for some reason attracted to Nathan, and she's questioning herself, what is wrong with her? And you also question with her, what is wrong with her, what is wrong with the other woman Olivia, what is wrong with this guy Nathan. And it's quite bizarre at a glance, but I really liked it because it talked about so many things that people don't really talk about: polysexuality, polyamory, love, what is the meaning of love, why are people so uptight about love and sex. And it was pretty interesting. I liked it, so I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars. I really enjoyed reading this, and I would read anything this writer writes again, Lillian Fishman. And on that note, I ended my year 2022, reading year 2022, and I'm glad I ended on that note. I enjoyed my month of December because I read 6 books, and that is more than other months of that year. And this January is also going pretty good, and I hope I can do a nice wrap up at the end of the month. Next week's video probably is going to be a book review video, so I will see you in that video. Until then, please take care. Bye bye.